again from Lincoln City Parks and Recreation for another edition of Creative Cuisine, part of our RecKids Virtual Camp series. Today we're going to be making nice cream banana bites. These are made of bananas, cocoa powder, granola, a little bit of honey, or you can use maple syrup, and you put it in a bite-sized bit. To make our nice cream banana bites, you will need some bananas, cocoa powder, rolled oats, granola, a nut milk or rice milk or soy milk, or if you prefer, regular milk, honey or maple syrup, depending on what you'd like to use for your sweetener, or agave, and some vanilla extract, as well as a blender or a food processor, a bigger bowl and a smaller bowl, a 1 cup, 1/3 cup, and a 1/4 cup, depending on how much sweet you want to use. You could use a 1/4 cup or a 1/3 cup, a spoon to get all of your mixture out of your bowl, a scoop, and then a teaspoon. To make my nice cream banana bites, I'm going to need 2 bananas. If you have more members in your family or you'd like to make a larger batch, the easiest way to do it is just double every ingredient in your recipe. So for instance, if I'm going to double up my 1 cup, I would then do 2 cups, and so on and so forth. It's a lot easier to do it that way rather than trying to do the fraction math. But if you like to do math, then it just adds another fun element in there. So break up my bananas a little bit so they're a little bit easier. There. And make sure that you don't leave anything inside of your food processor or your blender like I just did. There we have it. Now it's time to add the rest of our ingredients. My recommendation whenever you're doing anything with measuring and involves wet and dry ingredients is to always do your dry ingredients first. That way, if when you're doing it, you're not going to get any sort of residue or film that will kind of get left by adding that liquid first and then adding your dry. You're not going to get all of those ingredients into your mixing container. So first I'm going to take my 1/3 cup and I'm going to do my cocoa powder. If you don't have cocoa powder, that's okay. You could maybe use some other form of chocolate, whether chocolate chips or chocolate syrup, or just do without the chocolate altogether and just have some banana flavored ice cream. It's kind of really up to you. And if a little bit falls in while you're pouring, that's okay. And if we make a mess, that's okay too, because we can always clean up at the end. All right, it's not about being 100% exact, but just getting those rough measurements. Oop, got a little bit of a cloud there. Then I'm gonna take 1/3 cup again, and I'm gonna add in my almond milk, or if you'd like, this is where you can use some regular milk, depending on which is better for you, whether you want to use a milk alternative or just regular milk. Add that. Then I'm gonna take my 1 teaspoon and I'm gonna grab my vanilla, or you can use imitation vanilla. Pour that in. Last little bit there. And then lastly, I'm gonna add in my honey. And you can use maple syrup again if you would prefer that for your sweet factor. I really like honey because I have allergies, and using honey is a really great way for me to kind of curb some of my allergies, especially during the tree pollination season. I'm gonna add in my 1/3 cup of honey. There we go. Now we're almost ready to blend. Let's take all our ingredients over to the blender or the food processor if you have one. together, we're gonna pour it into our bowl. And this is where my spatula will come in handy so I can get all the extra bits because we want to eat it all. And if it didn't quite mix, that's okay. We can do a quick mix right here. Majority of that. So I'm just gonna do a quick mix here to get the last of those dry ingredients mixed nicely into my nice cream. Now I'm ready to add 2 cups of my rolled oats. I'm gonna pour this directly into the mixture. And again, if some doesn't make it into the measuring cup, it makes it into the bowl, that's okay. This is more about creating a texture and adding a little thickness to your mixture. And I'm gonna mix in my oats, just like this, until they're all nice and mixed together. Now that I've mixed in my oats, I'm gonna pop my mixture into the freezer for about 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how cold your freezer is, just to make it a little more firm so that I can scoop it into the bite-sized bits. Now that my mixture is ready, I'm going to scoop it into the granola. So first, I'm going to pour my granola into my smaller bowl, just like that. You can pour as much or as little as you want. And I'm going to take my cookie scoop, and I'm going to take a little bit of the mixture. Doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm gonna pour it into the granola, and I'm gonna kind of just take some of this excess granola and kind of sprinkle it on top, making sure I can get all of the sides covered evenly, just like this. Then once you have an even distribution of your granola, you're gonna take your bite-sized portion, and you're gonna place it onto your parchment paper. So I'm gonna take my next one, shake off any excess, stick it onto the granola. You pretend that you're making some snow fall or something like that. Sometimes it's fun to add a little bit of extra creativity to it. And once I have that one evenly coated, put it onto my parchment sheet just like that. Now I'm gonna make the rest. Bites have been in the freezer, it's time to dig in. That wraps up for another edition of Creative Cuisine. We'll see you next time.